Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Extremely Casual Gamers podcast with Ali, Chris and Guy. This is a casual gaming podcast for the everyday gamer, and on today's show, we're going to be chatting about the colours of consoles, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. A bit of a bone to pick situation where every single console comes out and it's always a wacky colour.
Yeah.
And if I were to bring one home, my wife is going to say that does not suit our little aesthetic we've got going at all.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.
Would she say that or would you say that?
No, she would say that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but more on that in a wee bit, Guy.
Yeah, nice. We'll obviously have a list of feedback and gaming news, but also, now we're starting to chat personal stuff. So, How are you guys? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm in a good mood.
That's great. Is that because you ran 10Ks?
I ran 10Ks yesterday. I'm training for a half marathon April 13th in Christchurch, which I've never done before. I was supposed to do the Auckland half marathon last year, but then I had that annoying little meltdown in the middle of the year.
Oh, yes.
So no, it's cool to do it again. I'll be running for a charity as well.
Wow,
really?
Ranui House, which is a really cool, it's part of the Bone Cancer Trust Foundation down in Christchurch. And Ranui House is this huge complex that's just been built to house families and people going through treatments at the Christchurch
I've
Hospital.
heard about this.
Yes.
So, people find out that they've got cancer or a loved one's got cancer and they say, you've got to run you through chemo. It's going to be 6 months. And they put people up in this really cool house. So they raised money for the Christchurch Marathon last year to help build Ranui House, which just got built. So I'll be running through those guys, which is really cool.
Nice.
So I haven't got the page or anything set up yet, but once I do, I'll chuck it up on the ECG for ECG page. But I also, I just need to. It's kind of put the pressure on me because I need to finish. I've never done a half marathon. The furthest I've ever run is 11.1 kilometers.
Yes, well, two people I know that you know as well. Well, you know Manaya.
Yeah, Manaya's run.
He's run 2 half marathons.
Yeah.
And he's not exactly a massive athlete, you know what I mean?
No.
And he was just like, literally the first 3K were fine, and then it was shit. And then eventually you're like, oh, this is all good.
Yeah.
I imagine you ran 10K today. That's really far.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be totally fine.
I just need to build up to it. I haven't got a training schedule or anything. It's just going to be, I'm going to run 10 and then I'm going to try and run 12.
Yeah.
And then, so.
But you don't ever have to run the half marathon, right? You just run a certain amount.
Well, people, they say if you can run comfortably or at least semi-comfortably 15 kilometers.
Wow.
Then you should be good to go on race day.
As in you'll be sweet as. Even if you can run 10K though, you'll still be fine for race day.
It is crazy though, running a 10K, being real gassed, finish, and then being like, I've got to do that twice. And then add on a little bit more, because was it 21.5 kilometers or something like that?
And then once you've done that, you go, wow, that was only half a marathon.
Exactly.
Not even a full marathon. Well, not even, but
Yeah. So, but no, I'm good. It's nice getting back into my running again.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think you'll be fine because when you did that 11.4, whatever it was, that was at Hobbiton, right?
Yeah, the 11T1.
Yeah, that's right. But that would have been really hard surfaces and hills.
It wasn't flat. It was running through farmland and running across creeks and mud and up and down. That was really hard.
That's actually cross country.
It was across country. There wasn't a single shred of tarmac or pavement. It was mental.
Just for our international listeners, that was literally a run through the Hobbiton movie set, which is still a thing here in New Zealand. You can come and visit. The village from the Lord of the Rings is set up. And you were running on country paths and stuff, right?
Yeah. So you run through it brief. You run through half of it and at one point, and then you run deep into the farm. It's beautiful, and you run through you run through a corn maze and stuff. It's a really cool run.
Yeah, awesome.
And you can choose to do the half marathon there, or you can do the 11.1. And you can either run it or walk it. And then towards the end, you run through, you go past the Green Dragon pub, and you can and you can get a little bit of food, and you can get a free beer, which I chose to do and instantly regretted it.
Wait, so halfway through you had a beer?
No, it's right towards the end.
Oh, right.
It's the last, I think the last kilometer and a half to go. I had the deep, the stout.
Oh my God, guys.
Isn't that really dark?
It's drinking a Guinness. And I only had about half a cup. And then the rest of the row was but yes, that's
So you'll
me.
be able to do it.
I'm sure I will. But I've been running. It's been good.
Good on you, bro. Chris, you were away was it Taupo on the weekend?
Oh my God, I was at a wedding.
Yeah.
Saturday, big wedding. You really pushed the boat out in terms of getting stuck. I got pissed.
Nice.
I was trying to dance around
safely.
Yeah. Responsibly.
Yeah, responsibly. That's the one.
Yeah. My wife as well, and it was great. We woke up the next day, and there was the day after lunch thing at the sailing club.
Yeah. Cute.
Go along there. There's pizzas, and and I'm like, oh, we'll just stay for an hour or two. I had a beer, and had like lumps in it that first beer the next day.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Ooh.
Second beer tastes really nice.
Ah,
And
yeah.
it ended up being quite a big second day. So Monday, coming back and then getting on air for my radio show, I was a shell of a human.
Yeah.
And because I'm in my 30s now, yesterday was even quite tough.
Yeah,
I was going to message our Helldivers group chat to be like, who wants to play tonight on Sunday? But then I was like, Chris won't want to play.
No, I was still in Topor on Sunday as well. But yeah, my brain was fried.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think I'm still lacking about 10%.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, no,
thought
the
so.
hangovers are long.
No,
when we're at this age.
Just looking at you.
Yeah. I'm like, honestly, I'm a bit zoned out at the moment. That's fine.
Yeah.
So zoned out, I didn't notice that Ali got some a new hair color.
Oh, I do have a new hair color. If you're on YouTube, hello there. It's a bit more like coppery kind of.
Coppery
it's
is,
lighter.
yeah.
Still kind of brunette, but kind of auburn. I don't know what it is.
I love
But
all
yeah.
these words to describe ginger. Dancing around it. Nah, it's not even that ginger.
Auburn. Nah, yeah, it's like brownie. I don't know. But yeah, I've got a new look, so hope we all like it.
I think it looks
Stuck
really
with
good.
it.
Suits you.
It does
Thank
suit
you.
you, and I love
Thank
how
you.
like 98% of the people that listen to this won't even know what you
No.
look like anyway.
No, exactly.
So they're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's why podcasts is good because you can still hide.
Yeah.
Although the social clips will probably reveal it, but that's all right. But I also have some great. I've got a prop actually that I've brought in for you to have a look at. You know, just following on from the
Oh, a
chat.
backpack.
Yeah, a big backpack, guys. No, following on the chat last week, I was expecting a package, and it has arrived.
Oh, it's like wet.
Yeah,
Why is it wet?
Because I used it this morning. I've just freshly come from work, and
what's the wetness?
so this is the bidet that I was talking about last week. The portable bidet. It's just the water. Because basically, what you do is you take this off, and
Ooh,
then
it's getting water on the desk.
this is very visual. But you fill that up.
Hang on, so we're describing it. So you've got
Yeah.
like a test tube almost
It
that you'd
looks
have in
like
a science.
It
a
looks
dildo.
like one of those things that you
It's
put up your
literally the shape
nose.
of a dildo.
It is.
Yeah, it
And you
does.
like-
Yeah. And then you take that off, fill that with water.
That's the reservoir.
Yeah.
So you fill
exactly.
the exterior of the dildo, you attach
Yeah.
it to the bottom with water, and
Yeah.
then you've got the smaller dildo on the top with a straw coming out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, it flicks.
Flicking water. Are you serious?
Is it
Ellie?
electric?
Yeah. So then we just wait.
Oh!
I didn't expect
You
that
just
to work.
sprayed the desk with it.
What
are you doing?
That
is disgusting.
There you go. So no, I just wanted to say that it arrived. I've used it, and I highly recommend it.
No, you didn't just want to say that it arrived. You wanted to come in and spray everyone down.
I actually didn't realize there was water in it.
Oh, I really want to try it.
It's actually really nice. I feel so much better now because I'm sitting in the seat feeling clean. You know, it honestly makes a difference. And this is not even a joke. Like
How much was it?
It was $39. Like, not that bad. And I have it at work now. I'll go to the toilet with it. But I genuinely, really, it's life-changing for me personally. I just like feeling clean. And
That is a weird thing, is it? And I don't want to, like, I've got this real thing about not getting too gross
Yeah.
on this podcast, which I know you guys battle with on a
Yeah,
weekly
sorry.
basis. It is a weird thing where if you had, like, some crap on your arm and you wiped it off with just a paper towel, you'd be like, that's not enough. I need to wash it.
Exactly. That's how I feel all the time when I'm wiping. I'm like, oh, I'm not clean. So this is life-changing. If anyone, wants it, I could put a link somewhere. But I highly recommended it. I just felt like I had to follow that up because I did mention it last week. It has arrived, and I'm just loving it, to be
Yeah.
honest.
That's really good. I'm happy for you. But are you
Thanks.
worried now that people at your work, because I know you talked about this on the radio show that you work with,
I did.
like people now know that you're the girl that struggles to keep a clean ass. Like, oh, there goes Ellie. Oh, shit pants. Like,
I know.
it's like struggling to. I feel like wiping is something that I'm currently teaching my daughter to do.
Yeah.
Like, you've known how to do it for years.
I have.
But you
but
just feel. It's about how you feel about it. It might be
Yeah.
clean, but you might not feel like it's
that's the
clean.
thing. I feel like
Okay.
it's like a mental thing. I just know that I'm not as clean as I could be.
Well,
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's changed my life. Just get Daisy onto the bidet straight away, I reckon. Don't even bother with the paper, you know? Just get her onto
Daisy.
the
I just need to get Daisy to not shit her pants or shit on the floor.
hey, baby
Yeah,
steps,
fair enough.
babe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just on bidets, and once again, I'm sorry to all the listeners who aren't interested in this, but
See, I think this is helpful though.
one of the this is really helpful. One of the when I was in Cambodia over the New Year period there, the final place we stayed was this island in a resort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's stay away from the main town. Let's stay in this isolated, quiet area. Isolated and quiet on an island means they don't really have the infrastructure of regular toilets
Yeah.
and sewage systems and stuff. Walked in there and the toilet is there, the bum gun is there. The bidet with the long what's
Yeah.
it called, like a hose essentially with
yeah.
a shower attachment, and there's a big sign above the toilet paper above the toilet that says don't put toilet paper in the loo and flush it,
Oh.
which means you can't just wipe your ass and throw it into a bin because it'll stink the joint out. You have to use the bidet. And so my wife Lucy and I were like watching YouTube videos on how to use a bum gun. We were on like WikiHow and stuff, and then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go have to get in and have a crack at it.
What do you think?
Well, So basically, you have to stand up off the toilet, turn around, and sit back down on the toilet facing it, koalaing it.
Yeah.
This is the one that was at the resort. It was like the special shaped one. So you got to seal off the front rim of the toilet with your ass so that water won't get out.
Oh my goodness.
And then you give yourself a wash down, and then you use the toilet paper just to dry. And then
I
because you've just been
see.
drying yourself, you put the toilet paper in the bin.
Right, so it won't stink.
Yeah, except I did not seal off the rim properly with my ass, and I fired water. A lot like Ellie just did in this podcast studio, out the back and like up the back wall of our bathroom.
Oh no!
And it was like fine. It was all G, guys. But fortunately, it was one of those bathrooms where there's a shower head just randomly, no curtain or anything. So the whole bathroom is kind of like a wet area.
Oh yeah.
And so I just started having a shower, and Lucy's like, "Why are you having a shower?" And I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. And she like comes in and has a look, and there's just water everywhere, and I've like been hosing down every surface like never again.
Oh.
So that was cool. Yeah, I don't
nice
recommend
work.
it.
They sound like way more hassle than just
Until you get used to it.
Yeah.
It makes sense once you're used to it. When you think about it, it's like, actually, we should be doing this.
Yeah.
Because you're not using as much paper and it's cleaner as well.
Yeah.
But when you're not used to it, very weird.
Yeah, very weird. Hey, nice work. Well, yeah, if you want to get amongst the bidet, I highly recommend it. But I think it's probably time to jump into some listener feedback at this point, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Bidet feedback.
I don't think anyone's sent any sounds in for our listener feedback segment. Remember, you can message us with a sound if you do want to be the little sound effect now that we've removed the sound effects. But first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge, obviously, we started more of a casual situation on the podcast last week.
We did.
And we appreciate the feedback. We actually, guys, I'm sure you've read it, but we have got quite a good bit of feedback saying that podcasters from Cameron love the new format, podcasts aren't radio, and my favourite podcasts are the more chatty, less structured ones. So
Great.
that's great. He also said, I hope it gives EC and G less stress. And then Mark Avery came in and said, OMG, can anyone else please confirm they also just realised the first initial of our host is ECG. So just confirming, yes, it is ECG.
Ellie, Chris and Guy.
Yeah, there
It
you
wasn't
go.
deliberate.
Well, no,
it sort of was.
Ellie came up with it.
Yeah,
did you?
it sort of was. Like I was like thinking about our names, and then that came to mind. And I sort of said it as a joke, but then I was like, actually, that is
slaps.
kind of cool.
And we were like, we'll leave it as that until we think of a new one, if we do think of a new one.
Yeah,
and
we
then we
just-
didn't.
and here we
now
are.
it fits. Yeah. And now it's a fun little Easter egg.
There you go. We had Julia saying, thanks for the podcast and the shout out. I have gained 1 million levels of cool with my son. She likes the cool approach and thinks it really fits us. So that's great.
That's good. How are you guys feeling like heading into today's episode? Not that it's stressful. First
No.
of all, it's not hard yakka.
No, I know what you mean.
It's just an extra little thing to lump into every week. And then after over a year of doing it now, we haven't really been paid much for it. We get free stuff, which is cool. We get to go and do and talk about cool stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a bit like, oh, God. Today, I felt sweet as.
I did too, actually. I think kind of having a bit more of a personal approach because that can be organically spoken about. There's not really any planning involved, but I feel like before we were having to do a bit of planning.
structured.
We're still planning.
Yeah.
But like it's just not as, there's not as much pressure, which I enjoy because I still really love doing the podcast.
Yeah.
We just needed to kind of change the format slightly.
Just
so
a bit of a mix-up. You know? All shows and TV shows and everything do it anyway, and the same format's roughly there, but just a little bit different. In the spirit of being a little bit more casual, I want to try something that we've never done on the podcast.
Oh, ooh la la.
Can you guys continue talking while I go to the toilet?
Yeah, do it.
Thank you.
Get
'Cause I'm
amongst. Do you
busting
need my
to pee.
bidet or
No. Just ones this time. But I've had so much water today.
Because you've been
and
running.
I wouldn't be running at full percent if I was just as you guys are talking. I'm like, I need to pee.
Okay,
So-
well, look.
Step on away, love. Get in there.
You go toilet. And what I don't want to happen, Ellie, is I don't want you to start,
Padding for time.
padding for time by talking about stuff that isn't directly
No,
gaming related.
look, I've got a few listener feedback
Okay,
things I can
let's
get
do
through
it.
here. So the next one, I just want to say as well, Mark Avery and his wife have finished It Takes Two. Took them 7 months, still shorter than me.
I want
well
to
done.
applaud that, but that's even way too long, Mark and partner. It should be like a month.
See, I rate it because it's sort of like it just shows you can just tap in and out when you feel like it.
Well, that's
I think
cool.
it's
But
cool.
what it shows me is that there was no desire there to regularly go, shit, I want to get back into it.
Yeah, true.
Even
Yeah.
though for like Guy and Meg, for example, that desire was definitely there.
Yeah, no, it was. They were very quick at it. But no, nice work. And also happy birthday for the 26th of January, Mark. That was a few days ago. Hope you had a good birthday. Donna Brown also told us that she's got some job interviews this week. So just wanted to say good luck to you.
How personal is this podcast, man? Like we're
I
wishing
know.
people well. We're wishing people happy birthday,
Yay.
It's good stuff.
It is lovely. Rachel Morgan also had some suggestions about the latest episode and like the format going forward. And she said it would be cool to have sponsors of the show, which, we're definitely
yeah, Rachel.
hopefully get in that, please. Competitions, mini tournaments, and an ECG awards ceremony. So,
The problem with that sort of stuff is obviously it sounds great.
Yeah, and it would be fun.
It would be fun, but we've got to the point now where we're like, we have to grow the numbers listenership wise to bring in sponsors who will then go, man, we want you guys to do these things, or we go to them with ideas and they help fund it.
Exactly.
So hopefully that's on the horizon for the ECG podcast.
Yeah, because those suggestions are great and they're things that we'd love to do.
Yes.
And also Alice Wright put the new Split fiction trailer in the ECG for ECG Facebook group. And I watched it and I'm really excited for this. I know this is kind of newsy, but it looks really cool. But I noticed that they've like rebranded their logo, Haze Light, and you know how we were talking about Hazel Light and is it Hazel Light or Haze Light? Now the logo has Haze and Light on top of each other.
Smart. Needed to happen. It needed
to happen. So we can confirm it is Haze Light. But no, I'm very excited for that. That's all the listener feedback. If you want to contribute, ECG for ECG on Facebook or Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast on Instagram.
And also, Ellie, you were given a task. People won't know about this, but your task was to not do as much work following last week's podcast.
Oh God, yes. I was like, oh no, what did I not do?
No. Did you do less work?
I did. It was actually easier because I didn't have to do all the editing, all the audio bits. All I had to do was offload it, which still takes a bit of time, but then I just had to put the little thingies on the front and the tail.
The intro music and the tail thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And no, it was a lot easier.
That's good.
Was,
Well, that's great because the easier things are, the longer we can do it while we're trying to build numbers and get sponsors and all that sort of stuff, which is very exciting. How was your pee, Guy?
Yeah, how was
so
that?
good.
Yeah. You feel better?
You know, those ones where as it starts, you're like, oh.
Okay, you are a grunter.
Proper hand on hip, stood there. I was tempted to sit down. I love doing a sit down wheeze.
Do it. I don't know why you guys don't do that.
I do it most of the time.
Good.
Guys, so do I.
Do you?
Yeah, recently. In the last 6 months.
Yeah,
Good.
Majority of the times, especially if you wake up in the middle of the night when you're like half asleep.
Yeah, don't even turn lights on.
Just sit down. Sit down wheeze are amazing.
Quieter.
Yeah.
I agree.
There is an issue where, like, if you do a fart or something, it does reverberate around the bowl, and your wife will be like, "Whoa!"
Nah,
but that's funny.
That's nothing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
If I wake my wife up because I farted while in the middle of the night,
that's funny.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And just to clarify, this has been very toilet focused, and next week's episode will be a lot cleaner, guys.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it is.
Well, in the spirit of what we were just talking about, after I was finished, I did dip my underneath the tap to wash it.
You mounted the sink and you washed your butt.
No, because it was wheeze.
Oh, okay.
My thing.
Cool, man.
I gave it a little bird bath, you know.
That is disgusting.
I filled the sink.
Why can I hear the sound effects? I don't know why.
Just a little splash, you know.
All right. Well, on that note, let's jump into some gaming news.
Gaming news.
So let's go first. Hey, I'll go first. It's been reported that the new God of War title is going to be centered around Egyptian mythology.
Now, that was a rumor that was out before the new Norse mythology.
Yeah. So Santa Monica Studios, who do God of War for the 2018, not rebrand of God of War, but, you know, they did a bit of a zhuzh up.
Definitely. Well, they went from Greek mythology. They realized they had killed everyone and done everything.
So Greek mythology were the first 3 games plus the prequels and stuff like that. The ones that are on PSP. So then they went to Norse mythology, but it was going to be Egyptian, but then they changed it last minute to Norse, right? And that's what the last 2 games have been. It's not confirmed, but it says that Sony are working on a AAA title that's rumored to be the next game in the series, and they're looking for Middle Eastern actors. So God of War in the Egyptian. There's so many Egyptian gods as well that I can't think off the top of my head because I don't know the names of them.
Ra, the sun god. I think Harpy.
There's one that begins with a T and he's got a hippo head.
There's a lot. There is a lot.
There's some really cool ones.
Yeah.
So very rich sort of back catalogue for them to dip into.
I remember in the first God of War, or is it the second one? You come across something with hints to all these different mythologies. Egyptian was definitely in there.
Yeah.
And also, I think it was the first one. Kratos literally looks forward at all these painted boards and stuff, and he sees the future of him being celebrated by all these people from around the world. And one of them was him, like in Egyptian world, being celebrated, and pyramids are in the background and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. So they've hinted, and there was like Japanese mythology in there. There was all these different things. So it's very much open.
It would be cool if they did sort of a Japanese, Asian, Pacific sort of gods one down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many things you can tap into, but I do wonder why they changed from Egyptian to Norse for the second time around, and now they've gone back to it, you know?
Well, I've got to say, I mean, they made the right call because those 2 games were excellent. Like, so cool. And I think Norse mythology was a little less explored. Like Egyptian isn't exactly front and center. Greek mythology is always front and center. Yep. Everyone knows about Zeus and right.
Yeah.
You know about Zeus?
Yeah, I know the name.
Poseidon.
Yep, know the name.
Hades,
Yes.
all these people,
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
I do know all the names. Yeah.
Whereas Norse mythology,
Jeepers.
Norse mythology was a little bit less known.
Yeah, I don't think I know it at all.
Who was in there? I literally have played both games.
Thor, Odin.
Thor, that's right, Odin, yeah.
That's all I know.
I might have heard of those names.
Great
actually.
Odin's ravens.
Loki. I'm just guessing.
Yeah,
because
Loki's in there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually, I'm not going to discuss who Loki is. But yeah, so it's very exciting. And
Cool.
Egyptian mythology, the idea of him with pyramids and
Yeah, it'd be sick.
sphinxes and
Sicko.
amazing.
Fun. Do you want to go next, Chris?
Sure do, guys.
Alrighty.
Guy, what's your favorite multiplayer online game?
At the moment, Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2. Have you heard of Sex Divers?
What? What?
No.
Sex Divers came out on the 26th of January. What's the name's birthday that we just shouted out? Was it Mark?
Mark, I think. Yep. Happy birthday.
Developed by Octo Games. Sex Divers is a survival shooter where you protect a scientific team on a dangerous alien planet, fight fierce creatures, complete risky missions, and grow your fame. Unlock steamy rewards, level up your skills, and dive into a world of danger, passion, and adrenaline.
This sounds like it's a game that they, right before a Pornhub video.
It is.
It's an ad.
It is 100%. Helldivers, everything looks the same. The guns look the same. It plays terrible, and it is shit.
Yeah.
Except for the Terminids, the little bugs, are called Scorpionuses.
Brilliant.
Oh, they.
Yeah, and the whole thing is literally just hit really bad Helldivers, and then when you get back to your ship, a really bad 3D sex scene generated by AI plays.
Really? Who made this? Like what?
Octo Games.
Oh, you said that. Yeah.
Is it a mobile game?
I'm just going to quickly this is on Steam, by the way, so there's a lot of nudity in there. I'm just
Oh,
gonna,
I just- you
I'm
just
just going to
scrolled
go
and I
through
saw
it. Yeah,
enough.
cool.
Goodness
Oh.
gracious.
But I'm just going to go to some of the reviews for this game. It came out, like 2 days ago. This person here, he said, this is a direct review on the actual Steam website.
Yeah.
I decided to do something outrageous, bought this game, played for 2 hours, noticed my parents standing behind me, got a belt from my dad, a month without a computer, writing a review from my phone. The game is awesome.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah, first review. This is quite interesting. This is from Goose. It's a gripping survival shooter with an engaging storyline about exploring a dangerous planet and fighting extraterrestrial creatures. The skill upgrade and pair reward system adds depth. However, the ambiguous title and emphasis on sexuality may deter some players. The gameplay promises to be interesting, but more detailed information is needed for objective assessment. So what they're saying is it would be great if there wasn't so much gratuitous sex in it.
Yeah,
So
right.
just play
Play
Helldivers.
Helldivers 2. This person has gone into this game and played it and reviewed it without knowing about Helldivers 2. This isn't a game, it's a punishment. Every aspect of it hurts. The movement, the shooting, even the explicit scenes are bad. 10 out of 10 do not play.
What?
Wow, okay.
10 out of 10 do not play.
Gift this game to any of your friends who you truly hate.
Oh.
I was going to make a joke there and offer it to Guy, but I'm not going to. But it's available now. It came out 2 days ago, and it's just a full-blown, explicit, but also terribly made version of Helldivers 2.
How much
Wow.
is it?
Here we go. Probably not expensive enough for you to make an impulse purchase, Guy.
I'm just thinking of see how much is in the ECG account. And,
Actually, this is funny. It's currently on special in New Zealand. It was $14.75. It's now $8.85.
Oh, wow.
I can
discount.
swing that.
However, my Steam purchase settings,
Yeah.
because I'm logged in, you had to be logged in to view the R18 content.
Of course, yeah.
Bundle hot load bundle containing 3 items has been excluded based on your preferences. So I've obviously got some sort of safety preference loaded in, stopping me from getting the hot load bundle.
Oh, bugger.
damn,
Sex
turn that
Divers.
off.
Yeah, that's a shame.
So you can be turned on if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I thought that was interesting. The first adult rip-off of Helldivers 2.
Yeah, wow. All right, well, in a bit more wholesome gaming news.
Wholesome.
No.
Without the W.
No.
Oh dear. All right. In a recent behind the Sims presentation, which is a little community where you get Sims news and
Insight,
stuff.
yeah.
EA have unveiled a roadmap for the franchise's 25th anniversary, which is happening in February. And it had a segment in it called Nostalgia Now, which is happening at the moment online. But there's been huge speculation because apparently it's looking like The Sims 1 and 2 are being remastered for PC, which is very exciting for Sims players because I've always loved The Sims 2. I love The Sims 4. 3 I didn't really play, but The Sims 2 for me, and I think a lot of people, that was core Sims, right?
Sims 2 is Age of Empires 2.
Yeah, totally.
It's
okay.
where they
Bit of a-
perfected the recipe, and it's the one that has stood the test of time.
People be like, Sims 1, a little bit buggy.
Great
or not
idea,
as
great
good.
concept.
And then Sims 3 and 4 are like, it kind of got away on itself a little bit. Sims 2 is It's clutch.
It's prime, yeah. So fans basically noted several hints, including the introduction of in-game items that were referencing classic titles and sound effects from The Sims 2. So in the presentation, there were little like sound effect clues from Sims 2. Apparently there's some Apparently there's some Sims 2 merch in Poland that's been coming out, and then there's been an update to The Sims 3 that enhances compatibility with newer Intel chipsets, and they've also highlighted February 25th with an eye emoji in the roadmap. Like nothing was said; it was just sort of watch out for that date. This is really cool because a lot of people have actually managed to get The Sims 2 back on their PCs, but it involves heaps of like backdoor sort of programming, and it's like buggy as and it doesn't really work. So if they could actually officially release these again on PC, I would be on board. I'd probably go and play Sims 2 again, not even Sims 4. So I'm excited. Like it's not confirmed by EA yet, but it's been hinted, and fans are like, I think it's coming.
If they can do to Sims 2 what Microsoft have done to Age of Empires 2, what's the new edition called? Age of Empires 2 Enhanced Edition, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they remade the entire game following the exact same thing so that someone who played it back in the day can play this new version. It's fully like HD. It's 4K if you want it to be. It runs on the latest computers. They're releasing new civilizations, and it is a joy to play.
Yeah.
If they do that level of remaster to Sims 2, that could be an absolute, home run.
It's EA.
Oh, yeah, so they won't.
So either they won't, or they'll do it and they'll mess it up, or they'll do it, but you have to pay extra.
And there'll be microtransactions and things. Because that's what kind of killed the latest Sims game, is that they went away from the genuine simulation of these, household people and blah, 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 blah. And they started dumbing it down hard out to almost be like a mobile game. So Sims 2 is where it's really nitty gritty.
Yeah.
Sims 3 still pretty nitty gritty. Like 4 and beyond, no.
Yeah, I agree.
Not good, yeah.
Sims 2 was the glory days, so I'm excited.
Well, you mentioned before about how in the presentation there was all these sort of like Sim sounds. How much anxiety and stress did you guys get playing The Sims when it was nighttime when the robber turned up?
Oh, yeah.
The music that the robber, when I can't explain it.
No,
but I can hear it in my head. And you'd just be like, because it's nighttime, so you'll probably just be doing something chill. You'll probably be doing some shopping or something that'll fast forward. And then it's just like,
I would get so angry. Yeah, I would get so angry as soon as that sound started. I'd be like, no, because like once it started, you couldn't really stop it.
Because my memory is the robber shows up when you guys are asleep.
Yeah.
And so it's 3 times fast forwarding through the night. And unless you have a burglar alarm installed, you won't wake up.
No.
And he'll just steal like your oven or some shit.
Yeah, it's really sad to watch.
Because you'd be clicking on your character, be like, wake up. And then like, they'll sort of be like, yawning, and they're like, it's like, you're being robbed, you idiot.
That's right, because you could click on them and wake them up, but they wouldn't react for ages, eh?
Nah, you had to have a burglar alarm. Same with a fire. You had to have a smoke alarm for the fire engines to erupt. Yeah, no.
And he'd always steal the coffee machine, like the coffee machine off the bench, like swipe the coffee machine and a vase and then the telephone. You're like, that's just annoying shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I remember when Sims 1 was my heyday.
Oh, okay.
So Sims came out, and I was at I might have told this story already, but went to a family friend's for dinner, and their daughter, Livia, who's a very close family friend, had The Sims and was playing it, and I was in her room, and I was like, what's this game? She said, you pretty much control these little people. And I played it the entire night, didn't want to have dinner, didn't want to have dessert, didn't want to talk to anyone. Got that, our hot date, Sims Vacation, and the one that gave you pets.
Yeah, fun.
That's right. I did talk about this, and then we went on holiday for 2 weeks, and I was only reading the box art for 2 weeks.
That's right.
I wasn't allowed to install it. Yeah, and then so finally got in there, installed it up, and it just took over my life for months. And I remember one of the funniest things was, if your house is on fire, but you don't have a fire alarm, you got to run over to your phone, call the fire brigade. And the same thing, if your sink is leaking, the water puddles get more and more and more. You got to call the plumber, and then you're trying to mop it up, and then your guy gets really tired, and then he gets stressed out, and he'll just piss his pants. And it's just so it is a life simulation, but it was also pretty ridiculous as well. I loved it. It's
Same.
So good.
I really do hope that that's a true rumor, but I feel like it is coming. I feel like they'd be silly not to.
Well, they're going to capitalize. This whole flashing back to retro stuff. Yeah.
In the last 5 minutes, we've been so excited talking about it.
Yeah.
How many of other people are doing the same?
Just do not stuff it up.
No.
Yeah,
don't stuff it up.
Don't overdo it.
No. Because EA, they tried to go back to the glory days with SimCity.
Yeah.
And their Sims, it was fun, but it was so limited in what you can do. That's why City Skylines, which I played a few years back, which is a detailed city builder thing. That's why that went off, because people that wanted that original SimCity feeling were like, that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, this new game is, you know?
SimCity 2000 was so cool.
And then
there was SimCity, and there was the insane
3000.
3000. The graphics was just insanely better, and you could create
disasters.
Natural disasters.
And like aliens and
like big,
tornadoes.
I loved
and,
just like zooming out and then just clicking and having a meteor, and you just watch this meteor come down.
See, that's Guy. That is you to a T right there. When I'm playing it, I turn off natural disasters.
Nah.
Because I'm trying to make the most like efficient, beautiful city possible.
You like load a map that's pre-done, so you don't have to make a city. You just load a city, and then you just throw tornadoes and earthquakes and meteors and robots and stuff, and you're like, yeah, cool.
This is how Guy enjoys his game.
I was just saying,
I'll go to bed now.
You're so destructive. Such a dopamine seeker. All right. Well, should we jump into a little chat about gaming console colors?
All right,
Tell us more, Chris.
Okay, so full disclosure, I proactively asked PlayStation for a PlayStation Pro
When did you do that?
last week.
Oh,
PlayStation New Zealand.
Yes.
Nice.
what did they reply?
Yes, but now I have to make a reel for them and do all sorts of stuff.
But you're
For
going to
you?
get it.
Yes.
But you're going to
Awesome.
get it.
Yeah, no, but they're like,
That's
yes,
sick.
we'll do it for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I'm about to go out and spend essentially $1,500 New Zealand.
Yeah.
Can I, is there anything we could do? Like, I'll review it
Nice.
and I could like make reels and stuff. So they've come back and they're like, yeah, make it like a fun reel and, blah,
Oh my
blah,
god,
blah.
is that all you needed to do? Hey.
No. So this is
I'll do it.
So what we'll do is once it comes through, I'll make a reel and they'll be like, hey, if you guys enjoyed that, why don't you get Guy and Ellie to do it as well? Guy's got more followers than me. Ellie, you got way more followers. You guys both have experience making reels and
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if that ends up happening, which I think it's going to.
Yeah.
But the issue is, have you seen the PlayStation 5 Pro console? It's bright white.
Yeah, it's because the PlayStation 5 is like a matte finish.
That's right,
Whereas
yeah.
the PlayStation 5 Pro has got like a shiny finish.
I think so, yeah,
does
right.
it?
Yeah, it's got a shinier white finish.
And this is something that I think all consoles need to have, like a toned down version of their consoles.
Yeah.
Even gamer PCs, like, unless you're going for a specific awesome, like, gamer PC room with the neons and blah, 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 blah. If I was to have one in our house, which my wife has taken great care, and it's one of her passions, making it look all nice and having matching wood and frames and and then I plonk my bright white with neon lights thing down, it just ruins the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to look at it, and it just makes the anti-gaming attitude even more intense.
yeah.
So what I want is like just a low-key version of everything, just like a black version.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Just a solid black version.
Yeah.
So for example, the Switch, when it first came out, was like orange and blue. Which is like cool. When you pull it out of your little case, you got your bright orange and blue thing. But
No, I don't like it.
I want
Like,
just black, man.
Yeah.
I agree. When I got the Switch, like I kind of find the red and the blue kind of tacky.
Yeah.
Like I find it quite tacky. I think it makes it look cheaper, and that's why with that new update that they're bringing out soon, the Nintendo Switch 2, I like how it's a bit more subtle with like the accents. But even then, I'm like, why those colors? They're very intense.
Yeah.
Blue and red are very intense colors. I'd rather it just be black or white.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
wife
you.
and I have both got a Nintendo Switch, right? So when you buy it, it comes stock with a color and a black.
Mm-hmm.
And I've now swapped it so that we've got a Joy-Con on either side that's entirely black, and the other one's red and blue. And the black one just looks so much
It
better.
looks sick, right?
Yeah.
So much better, so much cleaner and
Yeah.
crisper.
That's
Yeah.
right. And so, like, for example, I've got 2 Midnight Black controllers for PS5. One that I stole off Guy, a black headset, which I think stole off Guy as well. So I've got this great little black dynamic going on. My TV's
Lovely.
black, and you can just put it down your cubby hole there, and it just looks like you've got a Sky decoder or a DVD player or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
It just blends in,
Lovely.
which is fine. And to be honest, my wife probably wouldn't care too much if there was a white PlayStation 5 in there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I like the aesthetic that I've got of just black, like smart looking stuff.
Totally.
I don't know.
I agree. I'm a real sucker for when it comes to PlayStation 5 controllers. I love initially I love a limited edition one. You know, like there's an Astrobot one. I've got a Spider-Man 2 one, and it's different skin. And when I got the Spider-Man 2, I was like, awesome. It's like a Spider-Man 2. And then I used it playing Spider-Man 2. I was like, this is totally awesome. And now I'm like, kind of wish it was just either plain black or plain white.
Yeah.
You know, like if I got the Astrobot one, I would have loved it. And then I would rather have just plain colors.
Well, I think
Same.
if you've got like what we've got in the studio here, like a room or something dedicated to having cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you've got all the different color controllers and stuff, awesome. I don't have that room in my house.
Yeah.
My house is too small to have a dedicated sick gaming
Yeah.
room. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
One day, hopefully, that's where it's cool to have your collectible. Like I'd love one of the 30th anniversary PlayStations
Those ones
in
are
grey. I mean, and to be honest, grey is fine as well. That's kind of a smart color too, so that's
Yeah.
not too bad. But yeah, I kind of just I would love to know what other people's opinions are. Like, video gaming's fun, obviously. So they think, oh, you want fun colors and blah, 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 blah. But also, I'd love to have one that just you can discreetly slide in amongst all your other stuff.
I agree. I also don't understand the point in like themed consoles. Like I think there was like a Spider-Man 2 one.
There was a Spider-Man 2 one, yeah.
And I was like, cool, but it looks like a McDonald's toy or something. Like it makes it look like it's this fun little free goodie bag you've been given.
Yeah.
And after a while, that's gonna just like not be that
ages
cool.
it as well.
Yeah.
Massively ages it.
Like Guy and I own half each of Gears of War 2 Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Whenever you turn it on, it makes the guitar noise, and when you eject it, it makes like a chainsaw noise or something.
Oh.
Yeah. And like we had a lot of good times on
we
that.
bought it with Gears of War 3. Like it was
right.
It was part of a bundle. We played it extensively, but then when it just sits on the shelf,
It's just bright
You're
red
like,
with
cool.
lightning all over it.
yeah,
And
it's ugly. I always I hide my Spider-Man one. Like I only use it if the others are out of battery.
I don't really get it.
It's like when you've got a cabinet full of mugs and the mugs have got like a quote on it or a picture or something funny, and at the time you're like, cool mug, but then you look at your cabinet and it just looks like it's just full of donated mugs.
That's right.
For me, I would rather open my cabinet and just have like a whole cabinet of like the same mug.
But that's because we're boring and in our 30s now.
Yeah,
true.
You know?
True. Would I see this in my 20s?
But I don't want to throw out my mugs. Like I've got emotional connection to my mugs and I've got an emotional connection to my PlayStation controllers.
Yeah.
So if you were to say to me, Guy, I'll take your Spider-Man 2 controller and give you a plain one, I'd be like, I don't know. I want to keep it.
What about this? You just touched on a good topic there, and by bringing up the Gears of War 3 Xbox. Mugs. What's that about? No. Keeping old consoles.
Yeah.
I have still got PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. I don't have my PlayStation 2, but I've got like all the games for it, I think.
Yeah.
Is that ever going to go up in value, or is it just garbage?
Nah, it's just garbage. No.
It is just garbage, isn't
garbage.
it?
I kept my PlayStation 4 after I got my 5 because I was like, I still might use it.
Yeah.
Haven't turned it on since.
You're never going to use it.
Never gonna use it.
PS5 plays all the same games and
Exactly.
is way better.
Yeah.
But is it like a thing where in my brain, and it takes up a massive box with all the games in there, controllers, cables, blah, blah. I've got like 2 or 3 of those filled with my old consoles. I'll have another one soon with my PS5 once the 6 comes out or whatever. And every time we move or are doing some sort of admin, my wife's like, do we need all that stuff or are you going to sell it or what's it? And I'm always like, no, it's going to be worth a lot one day. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think it is.
I've still got my PlayStation 4 VR set.
PS4. Did they have a VR set for PS4?
PS4 was the first VR, so it was like VR1, you know.
How bad was it?
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was so clunky. And I think I used it for like one or 2 nights when my friends came around.
Yeah.
There's just so many cables and so much like you have to like set it all up and everything like that. But I kept that for I think I got rid of it because I got rid of it when I got the PSVR 2. And I don't use that either.
Yeah,
I should bring all of that stuff in and we'll put it in the studio to like dress up.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time I'm actually going to get some use out of it is if you're watching social media and you see it in the corner of the screen behind Chris's shoulder.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like that in itself is getting more use than what it's doing right now.
Bring your Spider-Man controller in.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like it'll actually be on display here.
Yeah,
It'll
that
look
makes
cool.
more sense.
You know what I mean? It'll be actually cool.
Yeah.
There's a good spot for that.
Yeah.
But well, look, I'd love your opinion. Do you think that gaming consoles are too bright and silly, and do you want them black and chic and boring like we do? I think there should just be 2 options.
Yeah.
They should be the same price. Do you want the really cool? Because like there's all these cool new colors of PlayStation shells that they're bringing out, like chroma colors, and it all looks cool. And in my head, I'm like, I don't have a gaming room, so I don't think I can pull it off.
Yeah.
Extremely Casual Group number 4. Extremely Casual Gamers on Facebook or Extremely Casual Gamers Podcast on Instagram. Let us know.
Love your work. All right. Well, this is bringing us to the end of this yet, but don't worry. On Monday there'll be a DLC. Which, Guy, do you want to introduce what DLC stands for in this context?
Stands for dedicated listener content or
Downloadable content.
Yeah.
DLC.
There's a nice little double play on words there. Not only does ECG stand for Ali Chris Guy, DLC stands for dedicated listener content.
Or discuss
Love it.
listener content.
I
Yeah,
like that.
ooh.
I think the first dedicated's good.
I think dedicated because it's all about them.
It's
and
about
their
them.
app.
Dedicated listener content every Monday.
That's
Yeah,
right. And
nice.
sure, we might accidentally upload it at the same time as this one and then delete it and then upload it 2 days later. But hey, that's just what you get with the
'Cause we're
SG
casual.
podcast. We're casual now, man. That's how we operate.
Yeah, exactly. Are you guys playing anything at the moment this week? Coming
Yes,
up?
I'm playing Lucky Squire.
Oh, yeah.
Plucky.
No, it's the Plucky Squire. Sorry. I knew
How
I was
is it?
It's so much fun. It's such
Is
an
it?
easy, carefree game, but it's so creative. It gives off Takes Two vibes.
Okay.
And it
You
gives
should
off weirdly like
jam it next week.
Pokemon vibes as well. Like
Yeah.
because what it is, it's inside a storybook of a kid's room, and you are the plucky squire with a little sword. It's
2D.
so simple, 2D.
Yeah.
And it's about there's an evil guy, and you've got to save your world, right?
Cool.
But then also you're a character in a book, and you realize this in the game. Oh my god, I'm a character, and then you can go out of the book, and then you're
3D.
playing 3D,
2D to 3D.
and the 3D's really well done. And then you come out of the book, and you're running around this kid's bedroom.
Trying to find things to solve the puzzles
Yeah.
in the 2D world.
And you can
That's
use and
sick.
you can go back pages
yeah.
to grab something out of that room
From
to
earlier.
put it into this room, and there's like little puzzles. I love playing it, and my wife loves playing it as well.
Yeah.
It's super simple. You can play adventure mode and story mode. The story is actually really cool, and it's got a cool narrator to it. So I'm about 2.5 hours in playing.
Isn't it
with
like
my
an
wife.
English
Yeah,
accent?
it's
think
like
I've watched
the
the
plucky
trailer.
squire,
Yeah.
and his friend is Jot, and like it's really cool. So
Cool.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I got it on the PlayStation Plus subscription. I don't know how much it would be on its own, but
Probably 30, 40 bucks.
Oh
50,
yeah,
maybe.
it won't be. It's nothing major.
In New Zealand, I mean, yeah.
But no, I'm going to continue playing that with my wife. It's
And
a lot of fun.
I think, Ellie, that's probably a game that you would actually enjoy.
You would enjoy it.
Yeah.
It gives Takes Two vibe, and there is like the smallest amount of combat.
That's okay. I can deal with a little bit of combat.
It's really not.
Fun.
It's literally just like a thing to like slow you down as a character. It's mostly problem solving
cool.
and
Love it.
story driven, and you don't have to massacre an elephant like it Takes Two.
Oh, is that a bit of a...
Well, you don't really massacre. An
Nah.
elephant.
No, let's not go into detail about what you do to the elephant.
Nah, there's lots of things to do to the elephant.
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing the Plucky Squire.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
cool.
good. And
Love that.
Ellie's shown interest in it, so she probably won't play it.
Yeah.
Well, she will. It'll just be in about December.
Yeah, it's true, actually.
Yeah.
I'm back into Elden Ring. As I mentioned last week, I sort of came back into it after a month of not playing it and have to wrap my head around all the stuff that's going on again.
Yeah.
Still not there yet. There's still stuff. I'm like, oh, that's right. I was going to do this. And because it's just, there's no hand holding. You don't know what's going on. And at this point, I'm kind of keen to just mainline it a wee bit and get to the DLC, which is the reason I started it again, is to
The Erd
play
Tree.
Shadow of the Erd Tree.
Oh, yeah.
That almost won Game of the Year, blah, blah, blah. But of course, because of the way my brain works, I'm not going to mainline it. I'm going to do everything.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
to tie up
So
those
thorough.
loose ends, as
Yeah,
you
man.
always say.
Yeah, that's right. Tick off all the things. And yeah, I reckon by December, when Ellie starts playing the Plucky Squire, I
Yeah.
will have almost got to the DLC.
That's
Nice.
awesome, man.
yeah,
nice.
but it is good stuff.
Love it. Well, at the moment, I'm not playing anything, as we all know, but genuinely, okay, I'm genuinely going to look into the Plucky Squire because I just wanted to say to you listening, next week, I'm not going to be on the podcast. It's just going to be the boys because I'm going to be taking a whole week off next week from life, I guess is what you'd say. I'm kind of already there, but I'm nearing burnout, and being neurodivergent as well, it's like kind of worse than other types of burnout. And my psychologist has recommended that I take a week off. So my bosses have been lovely. They're giving me the week off. And the boys here have said that I can have a week off the podcast.
No, we haven't. We said that you can.
This is
You
the
can
first-
just do it.
This is
You
the
don't need
first
to
time.
ask
This is the
us.
first I'm hearing of it, really. And
Yeah.
I'm a
No,
little
I had to ask for
disappointed.
permission, and I was really scary. Nah, but I'm not going to be here on the potty next week because I just need to take a week out for myself to have no demands and just nothing needing me.
Yeah.
I just need to just let go of everything for a sec, step off the hamster wheel, regroup, find my feet, and then I'll be back again the following week. But
and for a little bit of context too, you started when did you start this new job?
it was in September.
September, yeah. So back into radio, which was your background a wee bit, same as us, and you're up at what time every day?
4.
4 a.m. You're in there, you got to get your brain going. You're producing as well, and it's just
Producing's really hard.
It is.
It's a lot of.
especially dealing with radio egos
Yeah.
and stuff, man.
It's like if you ever listen to a radio show, there's producers behind it most of the time, and they do so much of the heavy lifting.
yeah.
That's it,
Obviously,
yeah.
announcers do a lot of hard work. It's
Totally.
a different type of work, but yeah, I was a producer for about a year, and it's full noise.
It is full noise, yeah. So there's that, but then there's also I'm trying to balance so many other things in my life too, like my podcasts and also just having my partner. There's just so much on, and I think my psychologist basically said you just need to stop for a week, just regroup, come back. I'm not leaving or anything. I still want to commit to all these things, but I think I need to restructure my life in general. For example, not having stuff in the weekends. I just need to say that my weekends are nothing now. Even though I don't want to necessarily do that, I think I just need to set these boundaries, and I don't usually ask for help or ask for my needs to be met, but I think when my psychologist said it, it was sort of oh yeah, well she said it, so I guess I better. So I was kind of scared to even take this week, but I think I genuinely need it, and I know that I'll come back better once I've had a little rest.
Well, I'm sure you probably couldn't speak to, things getting overwhelming and then one day it goes like that.
This is I can't relate to this conversation whatsoever. No.
So absolutely, Ellie, you go do what you need to do.
Thank you so much.
And you said a week would be fantastic. If you need two, take two. Like
Thank
it
you.
really is.
It takes two. That's not even a joke. I'm sorry. Carry on. Carry on.
You are hungover.
It's so shit.
But no, it is really important that you're taking some time for your mental health.
Thank you.
It is actually, I imagine it would actually be quite hard to not be on.
I think it will be. I think there'll be an element of me actually getting itchy feet immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as I don't have the demands, I'll be like, oh, I'm bored, and what do I do? But I think I'm going to do some gaming.
You need to do some gaming. Man,
Yeah.
it switches the brain off. You're not expected to do anything.
I genuinely will, because I honestly believe that because of the demands and the burnout I've been experiencing for the last wee while, I haven't been able to game, not because the gaming itself isn't relaxing, but it's the mental thought and capacity to even open the game, start the game, whereas I've just been scrolling on my phone because
Just
it's
doom
easier.
scrolling.
Yeah, so next week when I've actually got nothing on, I will have the energy, I think, to look into the Plucky Squire and download it and just ease into the game. So I'm actually excited for that. So yeah, I won't be here next week, but if you're also experiencing burnout or just like overwhelming life, I see you, and I'll be back the following week. And yeah, don't forget Monday, we've got our DLC popping out. And other than that, ECG for ECG on Facebook if you want to contribute, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.